A very good morning to all my dear students. How are you all? I hope that you all are fine and fit and you all are staying healthy at your home. As you all know that I am your English teacher and my name is Miss Priyanka. Yes. So students, in today's class what we are going to do? We are going to continue with the chapter that we have done yesterday in our online class. Yes students, so what we have to do is we have to continue the chapter in the same manner. I will read the chapter, then I will explain it to you, and then if there will be difficult words, then you all have to underline those difficult words with the help of pencil. Alright, and we will discuss the word meanings also. So students, we are on chapter number 4, the luncheon, and all of you come on page number 20, the second last paragraph. You have to take out page number 20, the second last paragraph here. Till now we have completed here, till here, so we have to read from here. All right? Okay students, let me read it. All of you have to point your fingers and you have to focus on how ma'am is reading a particular word, and you have to focus on the pronunciation also. Alright students, so let us begin. She waved him aside with an airy gesture. No, I never eat anything for luncheon. Just a bite. I never want more than that. And I eat that more as an excuse for conversation. Then anything else. I couldn't possibly eat anything more unless they had some of those giant asparagus. I should be sorry to leave Paris without having some of them. So now here the lady who is the guest, she's saying that I don't eat for lunch. I don't eat anything for lunch. I just take my breakfast and I simply do my dinner. But if you insist, then I really want to have asparagus. If they are having asparagus, then I will eat. So students, what is asparagus? See, there is word meaning given. Asparagus, a plant whose stems are cooked and eaten as a vegetable. It's a kind of a plant whose stems are basically eaten as a vegetable. So all of you underline asparagus in your book with the help of pencil, as it's a new word for you all. Alright students. So now she is being so humble that I don't eat anything much for lunch. I will simply have some of the things, and you know why I eat one or two things? Just for an excuse for conversation. I want to have a good conversation, so at that time I eat a little bit. Right? Who said this? The lady who is the guest. She was saying this to the author. Alright? Madam wants to know. My heart sank. I had seen them in the shops and I knew that they were horribly expensive. My mouth had often watered at the sight of them. Now the author is saying that I know that these asparagus are horribly expensive. It means they are so expensive. I have seen them in some shop, and now I know that there will be a huge bill because she is ordering something very expensive. Madam wants to know if you have any of those giant asparagus. I asked the waiter. I tried with all my might to will him to say no. A happy smile spread over his broad priest-like face, and he assured me that they had some so large, so splendid, so tender that it was a marvel. Marvel means wonder. All of you underline the word marvel. M-A-R-V-E-L. Right? This is the word written in your book, you have to underline, and marvel means wonder, right? So now the author is asking from the waiter that that do you have asparagus, and in his heart he was thinking that may this waiter say no, that I'm not having, right? But the waiter, with a big smile on his face, he said that yes, we have those large asparagus, and surely I will bring it for madam. All right. I am not in the least hungry, my guest sighed. But if you insist, I don't mind having some asparagus. I ordered them. She said that I'm not feeling much hungry, but if you insist that I can have a little asparagus, right? If you insist, if you are insisting me again and again, then I will have asparagus. Aren't you going to have any? No, I never eat asparagus. I know there are people who don't like them. In fact, the fact is, you ruin your palate by all the meat you eat, right? So now she's saying, you don't want to eat. So the author is saying, no, I don't like asparagus. I'm not going to eat them. So the guest, she's saying, why you have ruined all your palate with this chopped meat, right? And now you have eaten all the meat, so your stomach might be full. That is why you are not tasting such dishes, right? We waited for the asparagus to be cooked. Panic seized me. It was not a question now how much money I should have left over for the rest of the month, but whether I had enough money to pay the bill. So now here the author, he is just thinking in his mind that I am not having so much money as this hotel for yachts. This hotel it is itself a very costly, very expensive hotel. So how I am going to pay the bill? Earlier I was thinking that I will save some of the money, but now I am thinking that whether I am having enough money to pay the bill, right? So now he was thinking in his mind that how he can reduce all the bill, and yes, he is just giving a treat, or he is on a lunch with a guest, so he cannot say no, right? If she is asking for any dish, so he cannot say no, right? It would be mortifying to find myself 10 francs short and be obliged to borrow from my guest. I could not bring myself to do that. I knew exactly how much I had, and if the bill came to more, I made up my mind that I would put my hand in my pocket and, with a dramatic cry, start up and say it had been picked. Of course, it would be awkward if she had not money enough either to pay the bill. Then the only thing would be to leave my watch and say I would come back and pay later. Now the author is planning inside his head, and he is saying what would happen if I will run short of money, right? If I'll not be having money, so what will I do? It will look really cheap to ask from my guest that can you please pay for the lunch, right? So he was thinking that what should I do, means if I'll not be having enough money, so it will be very shameful for me at that time. Then he thought that I will do a dramatic scene, right? I'll do a dramatic scene that somebody has picked my pocket, right? I'll do like this. I'll put my hand inside my pocket and I'll say, oh, somebody has picked my pocket, right? Or the least thing what he can do is he can leave his watch in that restaurant or hotel, and afterwards when he will be having money, so he will take his watch and then he will pay the remaining amount, right? So he is planning all inside his head that what he will be doing if he will run short of money. All right. The asparagus appeared. They were enormous, succulent. All of you underline enormous, succulent, appetizing. I watched the woman thrust them down her throat in large mouthfuls, and in my polite way I because of the condition of the drama in the balconies. At last she finished coffee. I said. Now he said that now the asparagus came and they were just juicy. Succulent means they were so juicy, right? And they were appetizing. Appetizing means mouth-watering, means they looked so delicious. Wow, right? And the lady, she was filling her mouth fully and she was eating. And the author he started discussing about some matter that was going in the southeastern Europe, right? In that portion, the Balkans he is talking about. Balkans is basically a region in southeastern Europe, including many countries. The meaning is given there in your book. You can underline this word also, right? So now she has eaten her dish. Now the author asked, do you want coffee, right? Yes, just an ice cream and coffee, she answered. Still she is not saying no to any dish. What she is saying, yes, I will have some coffee and ice cream. I was past caring now, so I gave the following order: coffee for myself and an ice cream and coffee for her. Now the author gave the order. He ordered one coffee for himself and coffee and ice cream for the guest. You know, there's one thing I thoroughly believe in, she said as she ate the ice cream. One should always get up from a meal feeling one could eat a little more. Are you still hungry? I asked faintly. Now what she said, that do you feel that we should not eat with full stomach, right? We should get up at that time when we feel that okay, little hunger is left in us, right? So the author asked, are you still hungry? She said, no, not at all, right? Oh no, I am not hungry. You see, I don't eat luncheon. I have a cup of coffee in the morning and then dinner. But I never eat more than one thing for luncheon. I was speaking for you. Now what she said, that can you see, I don't eat anything more in luncheon. I simply take my breakfast and then simply I take my dinner. I was just talking about you, that you should not eat with full stomach, right? So now also she is not accepting that she has taken enough of her meal, right? Oh, I see. Then a terrible thing happened while we were waiting for the coffee. The head waiter came up to us bearing a large basket full of huge peaches. They had the blush of an innocent girl. They had the rich tone of an Italian landscape, but surely peaches were not in season then. Lord knew what they cost. I knew too. A little later, for my guest, going on with her conversation, absent-mindedly took one. And what happened? Now when they both were talking and they were waiting for coffee, at that time the head waiter came with the peaches, and while in a conversation she just took one peach and she started eating it, right? The guest, right? And now the author is thinking in his mind that the peaches are not in season. Do you understand what is a peach? Peach is a fruit, right? Basically. So now the author is thinking that peaches are not in season, right? So they might be very much costly. The fruit which is not in season, that costs more. So now author is worried about the price, that now she has taken the peach also. Now I have to pay for this also, right? So he is really worried about the bill now. You see, you have filled your stomach with a lot of meat, my one miserable little chop, and you can't eat any more. But I have just had a snack and I shall enjoy a peach. The bill came, and when I paid it, I found that I had only enough for quite inadequate tip. Her eyes rested for an instant on the 3 francs I left for the waiter, and I knew she thought me mean. But when I walked out of the restaurant, I had the whole month before me and not a penny in my pocket. So now what the lady said, see, you have eaten so much meat, now you cannot even enjoy peach. I have a little thing, I had little thing in the lunch, so I can enjoy the peach. Now with this conversation, their lunch came to an end. And when they both left from the hotel, so he kept very less money as a tip for the waiter. So the author is thinking that she might be thinking that I am mean, I'm giving less money as tip. But now author is thinking that I have whole month ahead me and I don't have money in my pocket. What am I going to do? Right? So this was the thing that was going inside author's mind. So this was the lunch which was not at all favorable for the author. Alright. Follow my example, she said, as we shook hands, and never eat more than one thing for luncheon. And now she said, don't eat too much for lunch as you did today. You ate lot of meat, right? So follow my example. Next time, don't eat it. See the irony in the sentence. I will do better than that, I retorted. I'll eat nothing for dinner tonight. Now he is being humoristic. The author is being humoristic and he said, yes, I'll do it. I'll not eat anything for dinner. Why he was saying that? Because he was left with no money, right? But she took it very humoristically that he is saying this in humor. The author is saying this in humor. Humorist, she cried gaily, jumping into the cab. You are quite a humorist. And now she sat in the cab to say goodbye and she was about to leave. But I have had my revenge at last. So now author is saying, but I have had my revenge at last. I am not a vindictive man. Do you understand vindictive? Vindictive means harmful. Author is saying, I am not a vindictive man, but I took my revenge. So how he took his revenge? It is pardonable to observe the result with complacency. Today she weighs 21 stone. Right. So now the author is saying that after several years, when I saw her just now, I found that she is extremely fat, right? And she weighs 21 stone, right? Basically, stone is a unit for measuring weight, equal to 6.35 kg. So you can multiply 21 into 6.35 kg. She's that fat. Right. So now he is saying in a humoristic way that I have taken the revenge. When I am seeing her today, I found that she is a huge lady now. Right. So this was the story all about. It is just an incident of a luncheon that the guest and the author had, and what were the incidents that happened with him. And in the last, the author found that the luncheon was not at all favorable for him. Alright students, now let us do quickly exercise A1. The lady had a number of things for her luncheon. Number them in the correct sequence. So first she had caviar, C-A-V-I-A-R-E, caviar, C-A-V-I-A-R-E. First she ate this. Then second, a salmon, right? A salmon. Third, she had half a bottle of champagne. Then fourth, giant asparagus. Fifth, ice cream and coffee. And then she ate a peach. Alright? So you have to mark them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now come to exercise number A2. Say whether the following statements are true or false. The writer met the lady for the first time at a theater. False. Write down false. Yes. 20 years back, the writer was very rich. No. False. Write down false. The lady wanted to have lunch with the writer at the Luxembourg. No, at Foyot's, right? So this is also false. Fourth one, the writer did not expect to spend too much for the lunch. Yes, true. Fifth one, the lady wanted to have white wine, but it wasn't readily available. False. And the last is, the writer has compared the peaches to the blush of an innocent girl. Yes, true. So what is the sequence? False, false, false. True, false, true. Right? So students, till now we have completed exercise number A1 and A2, and what you have to do, you have to write all the word meanings in your MCB notebook. Exercise number A1 and A2 you will be doing in your book only. No one will do in the notebook. Alright students, I hope that you all have understood the chapter and you all will do your work very sincerely. Thank you class.